good morning, everybody. This is your working podcast, or the Wastecast, as we like to call it.
Camera is there.
Yeah, that is a camera. So this is take 2, by the way. I screwed the last one. Hi, how's everybody doing? This is being recorded and sent to the WhatsApp group chat, Lisa, alright?
This is real.
Yeah, definitely real.
We're doing this.
We are.
It's a podcast. How do we look right now?
Do I look good? Do I look handsome? I'm cleanly shaven, right?
We didn't like do a trial run for either of this. We don't even know how the audio sounds. People are like making noise in the background.
I mean, we have our sexy audio engineer right behind us right here.
Yeah, he's giving us the
Who had actually proposed to somebody a little while ago. Can we get a round of applause for him?
Yeah, Damani. Yeah.
That's all kind of weak though.
Yeah.
Come on, I want one more. Come on.
Yeah.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah. Big up our sound engineer right here.
Yep.
Yeah. You're not. Give us a little word for the audience, please.
It was a
I said a word. That's fine.
wow, okay.
Well,
What's your word?
Good.
Okay, good. Thank you very much. All right, that's all I wanted from you now.
apparently we're supposed to be doing stuff on this podcast.
Yes, definitely. Things are supposed to be done.
Okay, so what I heard is that for the second half of this podcast, we're going to have a topical discussion on the issue of the hair rule.
Okay.
Which, well, the hair rule has been controversial.
No,
Certainly ever
definitely,
since
yeah.
I've been at Campion.
Okay,
There's
yeah.
been kind of this resurgence in
Mhm.
a discussion on it in recent months.
Oh yeah.
From everything from being the subject of endless student council meetings to conversations with their friends. Everybody has something to say about the hair rule.
And I'm sure the one event that was on everybody's mind is the incident at KC that happened just a couple of weeks ago,
Right.
actually. I'm sure even my memory's a bit hazy about it. So would you like to, recall our audience's
not.
memory? You would not? Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
Okay, long story short, for those you don't remember it, KC doesn't like long hair. Plain and short.
I mean, I haven't found a school that does like long hair.
That is true. I mean, I've seen pictures out there with graduates with big afros.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Do you know if anything has changed recently in Jamaica? Because I all these pictures, but I don't know if their graduates or actual students had those hairs, like that hair during their school time. Because it could be just a graduation hairstyle, Because a lot of people grow out their hair, they do nice, big, fancy styles just for graduation. So
It could be like a wig. I mean, consider that.
okay,
Could be a costume.
a
I mean, you never know. Some people, like, technology is so fascinating. We see hair and we don't even know if it's real or fake.
That's true. Yeah, I mean, you know about the whole deepfake situation going on right
right.
now, yeah.
I thought that was just faces.
Oh, that is
That
just.
extends to hair.
No, I'm saying like technology has come a long way. I'm talking
right.
about deep fakes in that own sense because you've seen some of the demonstrations of like what those big university funded ones. There was one made by UCLA that they mimicked Vladimir Putin's face perfectly.
Perfect.
Like it looked like if you showed that to me, I'd believe it 100%. I'd believe it. Like some of those properly funded universities, it's beyond me. You know what I mean?
Wow. We're going to Putin right now. What even is this?
I have no clue. I mean, Moore's law that stays. You guys know what that is.
Yeah, I mean that.
They want to transition on an IC will double that. You don't realize the proportions of that change until like you see things. Because imagine almost 100 years back, your mind would be blown.
Yeah.
Like knowing that people would land on that big rock, the white rock in the sky that appears at night.
Oh my.
You know what I mean? Because that thing, it seems
The moon.
so far. I mean, yeah,
That's what you're talking
yes, the moon.
Yeah.
And just a couple hundred years back, people didn't even know that the moon was rotating around us.
Yeah.
They just thought it was a static thing
I mean,
in the
people
sky.
still think that. People think the earth is flat.
I mean, people think the moon is fake.
Yeah.
Have you met anybody that genuinely thinks?
No, I watched a debate on this channel called Modern Day Debate. They were debating is gravity real?
Is gravity?
I
Okay.
watched the entire debate. It was like, I left that debate feeling dumber myself.
I'm curious. What were their arguments that they used for gravity being
I mean,
fake?
how many minutes are we into this thing? Like, 5 minutes.
5 minutes in, we're already into the gravity being fake. This is for anybody new to this podcast. This is gonna be the norm. Everybody here is new, actually. This is gonna be the norm for every single one of these podcasts.
Well, the gravity is fake thing. Basically, the argument for it was, so gravity isn't real. Everything just has a relative density, and the natural state of objects is free fall. So then, if objects fall on objects with greater relative density, they just stop. So the natural state of humans, let's say, is to fall, and then the ground beneath us is more relatively dense, so the ground stops or fall, and that's just
Okay, so their excuse is well, no, I don't want to say excuse. I want to give them some credit because that sounds smart enough to me because I didn't understand parts of that.
wait. We're getting a message. Hold on.
Give them money.
Wait. Let me see that message. Jeez. You want to talk in the meantime, Harsh?
All right. So I'm flabbergasted on it. The best word to use is flabbergasted. I guess what they're trying to say is maybe that the Earth is falling slower than us, but we're still falling because what was it again? Lower relative
Oh, yeah,
density.
relative density.
Okay.
They sometimes have big words that kind of, you know,
Mhm.
it doesn't really help
The
the
big-
positions, but it just makes them sound a little bit smarter.
I mean, to me, if they use big words, they must know what it means at least a little bit. That means that
Yeah.
there's an ounce or a
Because most
modicum.
times you think, okay, flat earther, and you think like these dumb.
I mean, yeah, that's sorta like you know the saying, the empty barrels make the most noise, right?
Right. But some of these people know stuff.
They
They're-
do, just in the wrong areas.
Yeah. Well, what it is what I've seen is they have kind of this overarching narrative of the world. So maybe
I don't want to give them too much credit. I gave them some. Let's call the right word to use is delusions. It's
It
not.
is delusion, but it's like they arrive at these positions because they have to. You know, they believe some other things, and it's like, well, if you believe that, then it doesn't make sense for that to be. So that's fake. You know?
Yeah.
Like you believe that the Earth is flat, then it follows kind of that you believe that there is no gravity.
I mean,
because then you run into problems with.
That's a
actual
lot of the
science.
fallacies that what's it called? That a lot of religious people use that God exists.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to get into that argument now, but a lot
Oh,
of
definitely.
no, not today. Not in a Catholic school. No
Well,
way.
not even just in like just not in this. Like, what are we? 10 minutes into this, and we haven't.
Lesson
seen
lesson
anything.
10. Yeah,
Okay, 8
okay.
minutes. Well, the truth is, something else we're here to do is talk to that guy who is an aspiring musical artist. He already makes music.
Yeah, I'll admit I was excited to have him on this podcast today, but I didn't listen to his album yet. When did it drop
I did not
again?
either.
It dropped again midnight yesterday or day before.
It's
Friday.
It's
So
a few
yeah,
days ago.
a couple of days ago it dropped midnight. I have never. I'm planning to listen to
I have
it
to listen
tonight.
to that.
Definitely, yeah. I've heard some clips of it and it's yeah.
Yeah.
Get the people an album.
The album. Oh, Damani listened to it.
Oh, the album, I would have to say, the album is actually really great. Hold on. Basically, the latest album released by our guest is called Savior's Solitude, and I would say it's a very good album. The two most popular songs right now, I think it's Judas and,
Judas.
well, that's the starting song, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
It has over 200 views already. It's been
I mean, if
2
you start out
days.
with a song like Judas.
Judas.
That's going to pull numbers.
Judas.
Well, yeah, it's captivating. You know, he's the figure of betrayal himself. It has to draw some. Right? For whoever who did design that title,
Yeah.
wink, wink. It was a great idea. I like it. It was
I
a
mean,
great
we're
idea.
hyping up this guy. We can't even see him yet.
But anyways, I think it's time for you guys to
You
introduce
should
him.
definitely introduce this guy.
All right.
Wait, is there anything else to say about him? I mean, he does technical drawing.
Oh, ew.
How do you want to become a musical artist?
As if
and then
that's
choose
technical, yeah.
drawing?
Do people unironically choose that subject?
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine what field you would want to go into where you genuinely enjoy using TD. Because I've seen some SBAs, you have to design something yourself.
Yeah.
I can barely make breakfast in
You
the
guys are
morning. How are
throwing
you supposed to
shade.
design a product?
I have to show you my design. Hold on.
Oh, you do TD?
Yeah,
Oh,
I do TD, and I'm
oh.
throwing shade on the other guy. that was doing it.
Okay, that's fair.
But like-
Granted, I do EET, and we have to do stuff really similar to
Oh, I
TD.
hate EET.
I don't want another. I said one word, sound engineer. One word. Know your place. Trash.
Whoa, trash. Not the slurs already on this podcast. Well, okay. Without further ado, and we've had done enough.
We've done too much.
We've done too much ado. But here's our guest.
Battles in the
Noah.
pain, how the skies all light. In the sun, in the rain, still storms and nights. Got my soul
Album. Save your. What is it? Save your solitude. Save your solitude. That's right.
Tell us about that name first of all.
Savior Solitude. It came from a really dark place, to be honest.
Really.
Just going through high school and being a Christian and trying to match morals with what's going on in the world. How I'm expected to act and live as a teen. 16 years old. It doesn't exactly line up with God's standards. And so just going through that, and it was a season of depression and just being by myself, hence the name Solitude, and spending that time with my Savior, Jesus. And so that album really came from a lot of introspection, a lot of taking time to see how should I model what the Bible says I should be? How can I become the best version of me? And just going back to the Bible time and time again. So, spend that time with me and God alone. Yeah.
Now, is there some wordplay in save your solitude, like save your solitude? Okay, is there some intentional wordplay there, or is it?
It's funny. Somebody actually asked me that today, and no, there was no wordplay. But I mean,
it just happened to be there.
Yeah, work. Yes, sir.
How did the development go? Like, when did you conceptualize the idea? How much time did it take to work on? How many people helped you?
Alright, so we started last year around this time. I just had this idea. So I was saying, going through that season, and I was like, man, I feel like God is gonna like bring something out of me, going through this trial, and I was like, I don't want to do this by myself, It's funny because it's solitude, but I don't want to do this by myself. I want somebody else's perspective.
In a sense, he's saving you from your solitude. Okay.
Yes, sir. And so I talked to my good friend Kristian, goes to the school, fifth form.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knows this man can sing.
Yeah.
This man can sing.
Yeah, after dropping
when you
bio,
start
you must have some extra time.
Your knees start shaking. Okay? Your knees start shaking.
Okay, calm. Praise the Lord.
We're not going in. And so he was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know how to songwrite. I've never really done something like that. Because he sings at his church. So he's a worship leader at his church.
He used to be a member of chapel choir, didn't he?
Yeah, he used to. Back in first, second, third, fourth.
First to third, yeah, that's right. Before COVID came though.
And so I was like, come on, bro, just try it. Come to one studio session with Deshaun Brown. Also goes to our school in fifth form. And I'm like,
Deshaun Brown, he's a big producer here, isn't he?
Yo, this man.
I've talked his stuff, and I've what's it called? I don't want to say mentored, but I gave him some tips, gave him some ideas. It was really nice.
I was just like, I was very instrumental in the success. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. I didn't really do it. Okay. I didn't really do that. I just said what I liked, said what I didn't like. That's all. Nothing more. But I like to say, I want some. Please, just give me some royalties. No, because audience, right? I'm talking to them. The mic is just an instrument for my voice. I want some royalties, please. I beg you.
Yeah, Deshaun Brown is even like with Chris and I, we're singing all that stuff. He's a genius behind the scenes. He's the man that's making all of this happen. We're talented. He's a god. Like this man goes crazy. Okay. Like us alone, our vocals alone.
They want to see us a bit.
Our vocals alone are good, but he's the one that really brings it all together. He's a glue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
And so I went in the studio one day with Dishy. I was like, yo, got Chris here. Yeah, that's his producer name.
Dishy Wishy, yeah.
Dishy Wishy. Yeah. And so I went to the studio one day and worked on Judas, the first song of the album. And
the songs you produce, like in chronological order, are they the ones in the album, or did you make a purposeful order?
Actually, the sequence changed. Okay. Originally, I wanted it to be Judas, Solitude, etc., etc., etc. But then I switched Judas to be second in the album, actually.
Okay.
Yeah. So we started off with Solitude as a title name for the project.
Yeah.
So went in the studio with Dishy and Chris, and it was just like magic. It just clicked. And Chris' voice is already so smooth as it is. When you apply a little bit of autotune on that, I ain't finna get the details. But
alright, you sound engineer, you've earned another word. What can you use to describe the album? I'm really interested now.
He's thinking of it.
It's one word. You better make it count.
I know he's really hyping up the word because it's really good.
Come on, it is the word. Come on, you got this.
This is like the longest bit of dead air already on our podcast, and it's just Damani thinking of a cool word.
I mean, his word is going to be more substantial than anything else that we've done so far.
Intriguing.
Oh man.
Why not Solitude?
At least it's not good like last time. Expand your vocabulary. Granted, I don't want you speaking anymore.
So the themes of this podcast, sorry, not the podcast. The themes of this podcast are like very random. The themes of this album, what does it hit at? You told us it's coming from a place of depression and a sense of wanting to be stronger in your relationship with God and your faith. and it's hinting at depression and stuff like that, anxiety, and feeling detached from the world in a sense. What effect do you think it has on its listeners? What themes can they identify maybe within their own life that this connects to?
I think for young Christians, it will be very, very, very relatable. And just seeing that it's not just them alone. Going back to the solitude, you're never alone. There's always people who are going through the same thing that you are. And just knowing that somebody is there to speak out about it and not just talk about it, but provide solutions in the music. So not just say, oh, I'm lonely, oh, I've been falling off with God or my devotions or whatever, but finding the solution in the song.
Yeah. Another thing about that is that I can see some people, as soon as you started saying that, started nodding off, looking away, going on their phones. But that kind of stuff, that advice may sound corny, but that advice is corny for a reason. You know why? Because you've heard it 1,000 times over and over and over again. And that advice is said 1,000 times over and over and over again because that's the stuff that works. Tradition, that it's a sort of thing where people look down on it, but it's more useful than you might think. Granted, there are some sort of things, like my mother says I have big feet because I walk barefoot, but...
Well, to piggyback off what my co-host is saying, there are people who, when they hear maybe the themes of the album, and they hear your story and your reason for writing, their heads kind of drift off because maybe they don't identify with the same struggles you identify with yourself, or maybe they're non-religious. Is there anything in this album for the non-religious, or for somebody with a different experience than you?
That's a good question. Alright, so going to one of the songs in the album called Prisoner, I think that one would relate more to the non-religious, as it is literally going to the secular world in a sense, and contrasting it with this, like, the life I'm supposed to be living. So it's talking about how I feel trapped, as in a prison, and it's like these two worlds I have to choose from, and trying to find out which one is right, and the lines get blurred. So it's going through trying to define your morals, your ethics, and so I think that one would be for the people who are not necessarily a Christian, and it would just be interesting to listen to and see what's going on in my mind, because that's basically what the song is about.
So in a sense, it's a representation of your thoughts in that time. That's what art is in a way. It's just an expression of the artist's thoughts, of what they believe and how they act in a certain scenario, like in the studio, of course.
Yeah.
And retell. Is there any stories you retell on that album? Is there anything specific any meanings to any songs that it might not get in the first listen? Like, do you have any stories? Do you have any stories like that a song is trying to tell that I might not get off of the first listen?
Okay. I kind of have like a play with some of my songs where the only certain meanings I only want me to know.
Yeah.
So like for Judas, Judas was talking about fake friends and fake lots of stuff, etc., etc.
I see.
But for me, it was fake friends, but it was like top 10 anime betrayals, true. Like for real, where somebody that you thought was close, and like you wouldn't expect this from them or something, just some wow stuff.
Wait, what?
So we are taking questions also from members in our audience or sending it on WhatsApp. And somebody wanted to know where you took inspirations from for this album. If maybe there were other musical artists that you drew inspiration from, or people in your life, or whatever had an effect on you that you heard or saw and you're like, okay, let's take a piece of this and let's present it in this art.
A lot of my inspiration come from Christian artists.
Yeah.
So I don't think most people would know them. Caleb Gordon, Aha Gazelle. We're going to people now. I think a large part of my inspiration for the album came from my family.
Really?
Just seeing.
Yeah, I've seen your Instagram stories. Like, you seem really close. Cause what's it called? I've seen you. Who was it in your car with when you were first playing the album for the snippet for Judas? Yeah, your sister. Was she a big inspiration for you at all when it came to that?
No, she wasn't an inspiration.
But she was more supporting, right?
Yeah.
Who was the more like? Did any of them collaborate with you on this album at all?
Funny enough, I've done a song or a cover with my sister before.
Really? She can
You
sing
know?
too?
Yeah, she can sing.
Oh, so the good genes.
Family, yeah, it's
Yeah,
it's
just straight good genes, huh?
Yeah. Oh, we usually do stuff at churches. And like
I see,
we
okay.
worship as a family.
Ah.
Church is this? Do you want to shout them out?
Hey,
No.
no. But it's
What? Oh,
it's
come on.
complicated because
Oh, I see.
it's more of a ministry, so we go to different churches.
I see. All right. So you guys, how long? Since when have you been singing, doing this kind of thing? You
My
know.
life. I've been singing. Yeah, I was singing all my life.
So what was the point where you realized, hey, I really want to I don't want to do singing. I don't want to go to chapel. I don't want to just do chapel choir, go into ministry. I want to make this a passion of mine. I want to deliver this to the world and let everybody else hear my talent. Because you do have a talent, really. I've seen some of the stuff that you've made, and it's beautiful. This is from the bottom of my heart, not just for the podcast. I really like a lot of stuff that you made. I'm sure I've seen you sing in a certain circumstance before. That's off of the podcast.
Yeah.
But regardless, yes, a lot of the stuff that you do is wonderful. What was the point that made you realize this is more than just a hobby? This is a passion.
Funny thing for me, yeah, I denied it for a while when I was younger because the prep school that I was at, there was a stereotype where only girls would sing or anything. So there was this lack of confidence and kind of I don't know, or if you sang, it would come off like a feminine in a way.
Oh,
so it would be
I
like,
see.
I don't know if I want to embrace.
It's
my
sort of
talent.
like men doing ballet or something along those lines.
Yeah,
I
it
see.
is
Okay.
very similar to that actually. But funny enough, my brother is an actual artist.
Really?
Right.
Oh, what's his name?
Yeah, Justice the artist. Yeah, Justice the
Justice
artist.
Artist? Okay.
Yeah, and so.
So you're living in your big brother's shadow, huh?
That's no. And so that was a big thing for me too because it's like I love music too, and it's like not because he loves music is why I love music because we make very different types of music.
What does he type? What is the type? So you make sort of gospel R&B, almost like a rap kind of thing, right? A sort of blend of all of it. Makes a little gospel. I can see the inspiration of gospel in your music. I can tell you listen to that kind of stuff as well. I can see the big inspiration from that.
Yeah.
So if you make that kind of stuff, sort of slower R&B, sometimes you do make fast-paced songs. Though. I like it. Judas is fast-paced. Yeah. That I've listened to that one. That was my favorite.
Do you guys want to play any of the songs?
Not yet.
Not
No,
yet.
no. We'll say that for later. So, what kind of stuff does he make? Did he give you any inspiration from his?
He has given me inspiration actually for the album also.
Really?
But he makes a lot of tropical dancehall mix, not like how can I put it? The regular dancehall that you would listen to.
Okay.
But he likes music. When I say likes music, every single genre of music out
Okay.
there.
Yeah, I
My
hear
dude
you.
is out here doing it all. So he's more like tropical mixed with, cause he's in the States right now, mixed
Oh,
with
okay.
American stuffies.
So he's still experimenting with different genres.
Yeah,
that
he's
he finds in the
experimenting with
States.
different genres.
Because there's a ton of kind of genre, just of rap alone.
Yeah.
Because there's the South Florida rap, which is probably my favorite. There's the Midwest. There's New York drill. There's Chicago drill. There's West Coast. There's Southwest Coast with like California, whatever. All that kind of stuff blends together along with country, R&B, pop,
Yeah.
folk, everything. It'll be a great place for you as well.
He's
Just
into that pop stuff. I want to learn to do that honestly, cause I feel like it would be cool.
Yeah.
But he's killing it with the pop.
Back to
music
you
and stuff.
real quick.
Yeah.
When you sing, who is your audience? You know, who are you speaking to? Who do you hope to reach with your music?
I hope to reach my demographic is teens.
Yeah.
Young teens, like fresh teens mostly, in a sense, because they're still trying to find themselves. They're still trying to find out who they want to be and who they are.
Yeah.
You know, so just helping like showing like, yo, Jesus is the way, bro, the truth and the life. I'm not trying to go into scripture right now, but you know what I mean.
Well, you're making music now. You're already, in a sense, an artist, but you obviously want to grow. You want to get better. What are your musical aspirations?
Musical aspirations. I'm trying to let my music reach a place where people can appreciate my art without me having to push it in a sense. Like obviously marketing has to be done, you know, no matter which artist you are. But for people to be drawn in just naturally. I would love to reach that place. Yeah.
So you don't want just people to what? What kind of so your audience is meant to be teens, right? Is it meant to like help them with their kind of thing? Because you mentioned that they're not alone, and honestly, I really that's a
mental health things.
yeah. Because they especially right now, COVID. I know it's been said 1,000 times. But I think people are struggling.
Yeah.
People are, so I guess you could say it's a very noble aspiration of you to try to go for something.
Noble.
It's a very noble aspiration of you.
Like there's so many doubts in these times because the world is going crazy.
Yeah, I hear you. Speaking on that, what gave you the inspiration, or what was the thought process behind the name Noble?
Funny enough, I was gonna originally be named Noble, but my dad was like, nah.
has a
So
podcast?
I was just talking to my mom one day, cause originally I was playing around with names like the Messenger, but that's like long. I was like,
Messenger.
nah. And so I was talking to my mom one day. I was like, I'm trying to find something to name myself for real, and I don't want it to be like something random. I want it to be kind of close to my name. So she was like, "Yeah, we're gonna name you Nobu." I was like, "That's not bad, high key. That's not bad."
yeah.
So I was like, "Yeah, just rock with it."
Noble.
So Noble, they went with No over Noble.
Yeah.
Noble was your mom's idea.
Yeah.
And your dad wanted to go with No.
He was he did. He was just like not Noble.
Oh,
Whatever
is
is,
it like a
I'm
last
it's
minute
not
decision?
Noble.
Like she's in labor, said, "No, I don't want Noble anymore. I want Noah."
You know, funny thing actually, my grandma, she knitted this pillow with
Really?
Noah on there, right? Before they even chose the name.
Oh,
And
what was
then-
like referencing Noah from the Bible?
Yeah, Noah from the Bible. He had
Okay.
this like.
Oh,
I
that's
still have it. I
adorable.
sleep on it still.
Oh, that's cute.
But like,
Hey, everybody, shout out Noah's grandma here.
yeah. And then mommy named me Noah. And then she was like, I have this pill that I knitted the other day. I was like, bruh, that's crazy. Holy Spirit to be moving though. Yeah.
All right. I had just informed that you do have a podcast.
Ooh, it's not out yet actually. Pulpit to the people.
Not-
Going back to
Not public to the.
it's
Okay.
like bridging that gap between where it's all Francis man saying that at the pulpit it's like, thus saith the Lord. To actually talking to people and I just say just being real.
Yeah.
Just being real.
So,
Yeah.
what exactly are the top? Because the topics here, they're interesting. They're whatever comes out of my mouth and Dino's mouth. So, what are the topics on here? Because you seem like you're organized enough to make a full album and dedicated over a full course of a full year to do that kind of thing with all kinds of people, producers, and additional artists as well, like Alicia Houghton and Kristian Gale.
Hey.
So, like, what was this? What was I saying?
Well, the question is, what kind
Yeah.
of podcast?
Yeah. Okay. What's the
Family
topics on the
friendly.
podcast?
Ooh, we will go into the controversial of the
Oh.
most controversial.
Yeah.
Okay, so like we
That's
actually
spicy, huh?
already recorded 3 episodes, but it's in the editing stage. But the first 3 episodes that we did were talking about secular artists coming to the faith. Yeah,
For example,
like Justin
Kanye.
Bieber, Kanye.
Kanye's a big one, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know I'm the sound engineer, but like, I would like to talk about Kanye a bit.
Watch your word count, youth.
Alright, you guys can talk about
If we
Kanye.
start about Kanye right now, I don't think we're gonna finish, bro.
Listen. I just want to say one thing. Listen to my dark, beautiful, twisted fantasy. Please.
I don't think there's a single person who hasn't yet.
Listen. I know there are some people out there. If you haven't,
I've never met a person who hasn't.
I'm
Do
right
it.
here.
I have never met a person who hasn't.
listen. Do it. Maybe it's weird. Maybe you don't like Kanye's new stuff. Do it.
Yes.
There's no you can't avoid it. You cannot avoid it. Do it. We have our sponsor for today. The what do you call it? Game Development Club? Or the Big Virgins Club? Yeah. Woo!
Yeah, let's hear it for the
Yeah. I didn't see you there, bro. But you better know that Digital Media Club's being held at 36 Room 15 Monday. And you better know I'm gonna do graphic design, gonna do video editing, everything you could ever need. So make sure bring your ass down here. You're gonna learn everything you need to need. You hear, Squirt?
We're back from that commercial break. Harsh did not die. He just left.
Evaporated.
Yeah.
So now the sound guy can finally say some more words instead of being limited by our co-host Harsh. We have a new co-host, me.
But what were we talking about before the break though? No. I think
Pulpit to the people.
Oh, podcast.
yeah.
So it was secular artists coming to the faith and talking about that from a Christian perspective. Because there's a lot of controversy about it. It's like, okay, are these Christians, do they just automatically, should they be leading you know, they're good at music, but are they at that point, you know, like it takes a pastor years, you know, until he gets like people he can lead and people trust him to do that. So should we just be giving, you know, these new Christians a platform to speak from? So it delves into that, and really the mind of, you know, a young Christian and the mind of somebody who's not in the faith, seeing that happen.
Yeah.
That's great.
There's some questions from people, as I said, who are in our audience. One person asks, what is the hardest part about music production for you?
The hardest part is songwriting. Literally.
Yeah.
Hardest part is songwriting. I may have an idea, but just putting it down in a way like I can literally say, "Oh, I'm sad," you know, or "I'm happy." Like using metaphors and allusions to make it appealing to the ears while still bringing across your point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get you. Another person asked if you genuinely like singing, or if you just use your talent for the sake of not wasting it and
No,
making
I
it.
genuinely like singing. Like it is a passion of mine. Like I'm singing every day. Washing the dishes, I'm singing. Bathing, I'm singing. Coming to school, I'm singing. At school, I'm singing. I was just singing a while ago, probably.
For me, like bathing while singing. I'm always singing in the shower for certain. My neighbors are probably like so upset with me. Every single time I'm just taking a shower, I'm singing some random song. I'll be singing gospel. I'll be singing like.
Is there any song that just always finds its way? You know, any recurring song? But just, you know, whenever you're in the shower, it just comes to mind.
That one is actually hard to think. I think like every single time I'm in the shower, it's just like a new song that appears into my mind. I'm just like, I'm singing. But most times I can actually say for me when I sometimes get to sing Kirk Franklin, you know, many of his songs. I don't know how, but I really like Kirk Franklin. And then sometimes there's any songs, because outside of gospel, like secular songs, I listen to Sean Paul a good bit. So that was somehow easier. So yeah.
Yeah.
There's another question actually. What's your favorite song from the album and why? Abigail from 26. Thank you, Abigail.
Funny enough, it is Solitude, because it's just diving into my mind. And I feel like my favorite song from the album, Solitude, for sure. Just going into my mind, it's just like a complex place. I mean, as anyone's mind is. But just being by yourself and just like, I spent a week, I turned off my phone, and I was just by myself, me and God, for a whole week. And it was different. Like, there were high points, low points. It was just like a lot of introspection.
Well, if it's your favorite song, then you have to leave us with a piece of it, in my mind. So.
Do I remember?
A year of, you know, producing and practicing and whatever.
Yeah.
Surely you'll forget some words.
Tell you what, I'm gonna look at it for a minute.
Yeah.
And I'll do a part for you guys. Let me just hear it.
Okay. In the meantime, Damani, first podcast, what do you think so far?
I think this has gone way better than I expected.
Yeah.
Actually. I know we got the props and everything, we got the microphones properly record this. Sound design our sound engineer is over there probably playing a game or something, looking at what it is. You can't see him through the camera. And I would just like to say thank you everyone in the club for, you know, being in this podcast. I think it has gone really well. We're going to edit the recording over, I don't know when you guys are going to get this, because, you know, as performers we have exam stress, we have to continue to plan for the next few meetings, so maybe like show part of the editing process next meeting, but there's going to be the second episode. But for official first episode, I'd like to say thank you guys for you know, participating, for listening, and just, I guess, a round of applause for that applause actually. So
Yeah, a round of applause. We're not even done yet,
I'll
but
say
you
the
know,
applause
it's going
actually
good.
doesn't sound like it's hurting your ears on this, does it?
Nah, it
Actually,
didn't.
so yeah.
But you
so,
sound a bit weird from behind there, you know? I'm not sure if that's how I sounded when I was there, but yeah, it sounds better from the front.
Oh yeah, that would make sense. I guess it's not cardio. Oh yeah, it's probably a cardio.
Mm-hmm.
You know, different types of mics. I'm not really get into that, but I don't even remember what type of the door. Yeah. The
Yeah.
door was like this, but I didn't want to.
But are you ready with?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say we don't want no more. Silent bellows, how the pain, how the scars, oh Lord. In the sun, in the rain, still the storms on us. Am I selfish? Can I bear this? Will the dire clouds come?
or is it me they're from? Said we don't want no more. Silent battles, how the pain, how the skies, oh Lord. In the sun, in the rain, still the storms on us. Am I selfish? Can I bear this? Will the dark clouds come? Or is it me they're from?
Ooh, okay, okay.
Yeah, that's noble.
That's no the big vocals, okay.
Well-
so I have obviously my own question. You know, we had you were a big part along with Kristian Gale, Alicia Houghton, many names from our year. The final assembly song. What was that process like?
Stressful, very stressful. Yeah, very stressful because it's different working on something for yourself and then working on something with a bunch of people. We had 12 people trying to get on one track.
Yeah,
And Dishy, you know, being the GSC was like, yo, there's too many people. There's just 6 people, too many. I was like begging him. That's the reason. That's the only reason we got 6.
I remember when you guys were like in the initial part of it, like it came up to like 7 minutes, and you guys had to like cut it down because you know we didn't want anything too big. And earlier today, actually, you guys were you know, and Josiah, our president, you guys were filming the video that you like to put together for that amazing song. To put together that video,
Yeah.
how was that process?
It was really fun, honestly, because we're gonna use the footage from actual Final Assembly. We couldn't really video a lot because you know just last so we just filmed it today, and it was fun. You know, we had random people just in there, just vibing to the music, and yeah.
All right, that's great. So
Yeah, switching gears a bit, you want to make a career out of music, right? No?
Not necessarily.
So I have on my prompt. So tell us about that. How far do you want to take music?
How far do I want? As long as as far as it carries me, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
It's more of a vessel, a way of evangelism for me, and also personally, it's therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I need that.
So what do you want your career to be, if you're there yet?
No idea, honestly, but I really want to end up serving. I really, really, really want to be able to evangelize on a daily basis and reach out to people. I don't want to office job at all.
Yeah.
I would never want an office job. Like I feel like you and I have like the same personality where we always want to just help people, want to just meet people, just, you know, have a sort of extrovertedness, you know, yeah.
And you talked about your family a bit earlier. How supportive are they of, you know, your goals, what you want to do? And
I think they're very supportive. My mother is just like, you know what your one problem is you have too much talent. You know, it's split between my brother and I because you know he's doing music and I'm doing music and stuff like that. But he's doing it like on another level.
Yeah.
You know, but they're really supportive. You know, like in the car, I was always like, I'm gonna turn this something up. I'm playing in the car and I'm just like yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. So, I mean,
Anything else? I mean, this has been going on for a while.
yeah, I feel like we've
Such a
Exhausted almost.
we've comprehensively covered the package of, you know,
You know,
Noble's
podcast.
work and, you know, his aspirations and
Yeah.
people around him that are supportive in his life,
I'm sure
all of that.
many people, you know, you need to do some advertising, you know, talk about, you know, I'm gonna send, you know, your YouTube channel to everyone in the group chat and everything.
much appreciated.
But
Yeah.
like, you know, you want to give any hints for anything else that's upcoming, like next 6 months?
Okay, alright, so I got a couple singles coming out. 2 new artists I'm planning to collab with. One of them being Cameo, and another one being an artist that my brother works with. So it's not an actual artist. So that should be very interesting.
And you said both of those are this year, hopefully.
This year, like
hopefully.
summer.
Yeah, so people have something
I would say in 6
to look
months,
out
that's
for.
like 2
Yeah.
months, 3 months.
Ah.
Actually, that's good.
Well, while they're consuming this album that you just released, they can look ahead for those singles, I guess. Is there anything else you'd like people to know about you, or, you know, maybe is there anything that people often misconstrue about you or misperceive that, you know?
If there's one thing I want everybody to know is that at the end of the day, my aim is to be a servant So I'm not out here hoity-toity like, yo, yeah, I just made an album. You can't talk to me. It's like, it's the complete opposite. I made this album. I want people to come to me and be like, yo, bro, I've been thinking about that. And my walk with God hasn't been that good. Want to do a Bible study or whatever, and just to talk to people, honestly. Just talking to people. It's like just knowing people telling people that I'm down to earth. I'm not like somewhere in the
That's
sky
a great thing.
at all, you know?
Yeah.
Just having people easily be able to, talk to you and like share things with you and giving people advice, especially here where we are. Are you into sixth form? Like,
I'm not
or if you, but like as a senior, people like look up to you and ask for advice. So that's like a good personality to have for where you are at Campion, I would say, or just at this point in life.
Speaking of advice, can you think back to any piece of advice maybe you got in the past that was most impactful on the way you are now, and then you look back and you go, that always stuck with me, and here I am today because of it, that you think you should share with others too?
I think my youth class is a big fan of that. He was preaching this sermon one time, and he was saying something about when people say that they can't read the Bible, like they pick it up for 5 minutes and they fall asleep. He's just saying, just wake up and read again. Just being consistent. And so I've carried that with me. Just being consistent in everything I do. If I'm dedicated to this, I'm gonna do it. Even if I mess up, even if like it's past a due date or whatever, I'm gonna make sure I complete it. Just complete things.
That's a really big thing, especially with something like, SBAs, to those who are like,
Damani, what was that?
right, jump from Blackwood,
Let's
Even
not
if
call
it
him
says
out on our
something,
first podcast. I mean, we can do better than this, right?
even if there's something, like even if you pass a deadline, you can't just give up on something.
Yeah.
You must always strive to like, how do I put this, you pass a deadline and you feel like you don't want to do it anymore, just still push through, that's like perseverance. Yeah,
Perseverance.
that's really good.
Yeah.
To look at the rest of the questions, but I know we kind of have to wrap up and also people need to leave. I actually need to leave.
Yeah. So I guess final question to end. Have you seen Doctor Strange in the multiverse?
Oh,
That's
I have
a great
actually. Though actually,
Yeah.
I was like, but I have. And
Thoughts?
wow, the Illuminati was really funny.
No spoilers on
Yo,
the
oh.
digital media podcast.
I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler. That wasn't a spoiler at all.
True, I mean,
It was in the trailer.
It was in the
That's why I was shocked to
was
see.
the trailer.
I was shocked
I
to
won't
see
say
the people.
who,
I was shocked to see the different characters in the
Illuminati, that's
Yeah.
very true.
and the powers that they had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
And the fights were, I'll
It,
just say two things: amazing and hilarious. You know why it's hilarious.
yeah, I know why it's hilarious.
Exactly.
I know
So-
exactly why it's hilarious. I wouldn't. I personally. I wouldn't even start my thoughts on the movie because they wouldn't end today.
And
They
we're
were
not,
not,
this podcast
so-
was not, and I have to go home.
Yes.
You watched Moon Knight?
We did.
Have you?
Yes, sir.
Oh, Moon Knight was amazing. I'm here every single time. I'm just like, lonely as a man without love.
Day and night. Yeah.
Every day and night.
Well,
we don't get copyrights.
we should not. We should not. So you know what? Let's just nip this in the bud. Enough Marvel geeking. Thank you so much for your time, Noble. Ladies and gentlemen, can we give him another Noah case?
And thank you
All
guys
right,
for
schoolmate.
listening to our first podcast, and there'll be a few more. I won't say many more because there's so many things, but thank you guys for joining. Thank you guys for also joining Digital Media Club
Yeah.
and being here for so long. I hope you guys really enjoy. And come on next week, we're going to continue. And thank you again to our guest, Noah Case.
Yeah. So, that's it for today. Next week we'll discuss the hair rule with